And we are back, episode 26, ATD Baseball Podcast. Me and Kyle today. And no, we are not all in person again. That was just an exclusive episode 25 special. Uh, I mean, ideally, we would be all together somewhere, but that's not how it works for us right now. So back to Zoom, I guess. How we doing, Kyle?
Hey, who knows? Maybe one day. But yeah, I'm doing good, man. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Other than it's a little warm out here in Central PA right now, but
Same. It's the same in Eastern PA.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I can't imagine what it's like out in Arizona. I heard has pretty bad heat right now, like 120s. So, I mean, if you're living out there, I guess just kind of stay inside in the AC the best you can. You got to go outside. Don't stay out there for long and keep hydrated, I guess. But let's dive into some good baseball topics. I'll let you guys know what we're talking about a little bit here first. A couple trades have gone down, and we're going to do a little sort of guessing, predicting what could happen as the market continues to shake out. So we want to talk about the Angels. Obviously, massive announcement that they are not going to trade Shohei Ohtani. They turn around then and then trade for Lucas Giolito and Reynaldo Lopez. The Cubs, they could be in an interesting spot here. They've won 5 in a row. They're only like 6.5 games out of the wild card. Do they really want to trade Bellinger and Marcus Stroman? We'll talk about that in a little bit. And if not, who would they want to go for? Um, Aaron Judge is coming back. I mean, I'm sure Kyle, there you go. He's clapping. He's very happy to hear that. Aaron Judge is coming back. Is that the Yankees trade, so to say? I guess we'll talk about that. I mean, because it's a huge addition to them. What other moves do they make? And then we're going to close it out, bring on Melo, because his Dodgers have made a couple moves already. Some would say they're a bit head scratching. But we'll get Melo's take on it and do a little prediction of what we think the Dodgers might do going forward. But first, I want to take a minute. Kyle and I are both wearing some sick t-shirts today. We're repping a brand called Rake Baseball. We partnered up with them. They have a whole collection of sick t-shirts. Some of my favorites. I chose to wear this white one, but I have a Good Vibes Only one with the American flag and the peace sign. Gotta love that. They have lots of ones customized to your team as well. So, go over there, check that out, and use code ATD15 is going to save you 15% off your order. Links in our Instagram bio, and you can just look them up online too. So yeah, go check that out. Get yourself some pretty nice t-shirts. But now we're going to hop right into the baseball. Kyle, what was your instant reaction when you heard Angels aren't trading Shohei?
For me, just because I knew the Yankees were never going to truly be in on him. So for me, I was excited. I mean, I was extremely excited because the Angels are buying for once. It's such a great thing to actually see because any true baseball fan wants Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout in October for sure.
Definitely.
And obviously that has not happened, once with Trout, but never together. And we've been waiting for that. And we want to see these two generational players finally in October and finally making some kind of noise. I mean, we'll see how far they get. And I truly do hope for the Angels fans' sake and, Ohtani and Trout that they do at least get into the first round. Something. Wild card, maybe, whatever it is. But I mean, I was excited. That was definitely my first reaction.
Yeah, and I will say that second to my Phillies fandom probably is an Angels fandom. Not that I'm an Angels fan at all, but we want to see Shohei and Mike Trout in the playoffs. That's what we've been waiting for. We got that moment in the World Baseball Classic, just a taste. Even seeing both of them compete in the World Baseball Classic was amazing. So we got that little taste. Now we want the full dessert right here because it's going to be amazing if we can get to see them in a playoff series. We're recording this on a Thursday, so if you're hearing this on a Friday, probably. Well, yesterday, Shohei Ohtani just pitched 9 innings of shutout, 1-hit shutout, and hit 2 home runs in the next game because it was a doubleheader versus the Tigers. I mean, this guy's doing insane things right now. So, yeah, safe to say we want to see him in the postseason. But now we got our reactions to that out of the way. I mean, whether we think it was the best decision or not, we could talk about that for a while. But I don't know. We've talked about that for a long time already on this podcast, earlier episodes. So you can go back and listen to that if you want to know our reasoning. But Angels make their first move of the trade deadline, before the trade deadline, and go out and snag starting pitcher Lucas Giolito and relief pitcher Reynaldo Lopez from the White Sox for their number 2 and 3 prospects, switch hitting catcher and a left-handed starting pitcher, which don't take too much stock in the number 2 and 3 because the Angels have now the worst farm system in baseball, and before that it was second to worst. So don't take too much stock in the numbers 2 and 3. But what was your thoughts as the Angels sort of swooped in and stole Giolito?
I was shocked because I had them nowhere near Giolito, like at all. I was
Yeah.
in 110% thinking the Dodgers were gonna get him. Um, I mean, it goes back into what I just said. I'm excited. I mean, when I obviously I was asleep last night when the trade went through, but I woke up this morning and I was like I was shocked, but I was very excited, and I'm glad to see the Angels actually making some very decent moves. I mean, Giolito is not, he's not a pushover. So adding him to this rotation is going to help a lot. I mean, now you have Shohei and Giolito as your 1-2 kind of punch there. So I don't think they're done by any means, but I do think it's a very good step in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, anytime that you can add pitching at both ends, the starting and in the bullpen, that's huge. Every team could trade for a relief pitcher and definitely find a spot for them. Not every team does that, but every team could definitely use a relief pitcher if they wanted to go out and get one. But bringing Giolito, like you said, is huge. I'm guessing maybe he'd slot in as like a 3. I'm not sure where he would fall in line. A Shohei being your ace, and then Reed Detmers, Pablo Sandoval. Not sure where he'd fall in that mix. Tyler Anderson too. Anderson's not had a good season, but that we kind of predicted that last year when he signed with the Angels. But my comment on our post this morning, well, it was Melo was luckily up to post it last night when it happened, was this is not a typical Angels move. I like this because listen, and they're rumored to go after Jameer Candelario, third baseman from the Nationals. Come on now. That's an Angels move right there. Okay, that's like I'm gonna compare Brandon Drury last year with the Padres, and he was okay. I mean, I don't think he was doing anything crazy with the Padres, but don't go out there and get like a rental third baseman who's hasn't had a good other than this season, he hasn't been great. Don't go out there and waste your prospects, waste your bullets on that. I think they should go for somebody a little bigger. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. Do you have any people you think the Angels should target?
It's so hard to say just because of the fact that I didn't expect the Angels to be buyers. I expected them to keep Otani, but I didn't expect them to go full into this. I kind of expected the Angels just to do what the Angels normally do, keep him here, let him, just keep him hostage for the rest of the season. And then, obviously whatever's going to happen in the offseason. But I didn't expect them to go out and get anything. The Giolito move was an absolute shock to me. So for me, I don't really have anybody on my radar for the Angels just because of the fact that I'm so shocked that they're even doing this.
We just posted our trade predictions just a couple days ago. Melo was the only one who predicted somebody going to the Angels, and that was your old pal Jordan Montgomery
Oh
from the
man.
Cardinals. So other than that, we didn't predict anybody else going to the Angels. I'll run down a couple names here that I think. I mean, and like I said earlier, relief pitchers. I'm not even going to mention them because literally every team could use a relief pitcher. Like they just went out on there and added Ronaldo Lopez to the deal. He wasn't the main guy they were targeting. They just kind of added him on there. Um, They might be looking for a bat of some sort. CJ Crone could make sense. A reunion there for him. Outfielders, I don't think they really need any outfielders. I don't think so. I mean, Trout's out, but he's gonna be coming back. Hopefully, I don't know if they wanted an outfielder. I guess they could. Third baseman, we said earlier, Jameer Candelario. I really don't think that's a good move for them, but they've been linked. Apparently, they've had discussions. I would have said Carlos Santana, but he was already dealt to the Brewers just earlier today, so that's out the window. Um, I don't think they really have any room in the infield for Jonathan India. Now that would be, and I don't know if they don't really have the prospects, I don't think, to go out and get him, seeing as they just gave up their 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. You never know what's possible. So for the most part, they're probably just going after pitching at this point, and likely they're probably going to go after Jameer Candelario, whether they'll get him or not. And honestly, an outfielder could be a possibility. I don't know. But other than that, I mean, I don't think I'm missing any trade targets for them necessarily.
I really can't think of any. I mean, and the fact that they're even looking at a third baseman to trade for is kind of like such an Angels thing because of Rendon. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
it's just it's honestly just funny looking back on. But yeah, no, I mean, other than that, it's and like I said, it's already a shock, so I have no clue.
So maybe they could use, well, they already went out and got corner infielders and getting Mike Boustakis and Eddie Escobar. So they kind of already helped themselves out there a little bit. Outfield, I mean, they got Renfro in the outfield and Taylor Ward. Uh, and Mickey Moniak is out there right now doing really good. So there's not really any holes necessarily. I mean, and you don't get a rental catcher, which would be the only place that maybe they could use a little help at, but rental catchers don't really exist. That's not really a trade piece. They don't want to go out and get
Yeah.
like Wilson Contreras because they got Logan O'Hoppe, who really had a breakout season before he got injured. So right now, I mean, second base maybe, but they've been okay with Luis Rengifo in the past. They didn't show interest in trying to upgrade there before. And first base, I mean, like I said, Moustakis is already there. Second base, apparently Drury's been playing some second base too. So that would be the
Yeah.
only spot I'd say address, but I don't think that they're going to do that. Other than that, like I said earlier, probably just pitching. It's going to be my guess. So got to see what's in store though, and I'm sure they're gonna be. If you decided you're gonna keep Shohei, you got to go all in though. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. Because you're taking a huge risk here, not trading him. So you're gonna have to go all in. I mean, they already did it with Giolito, and I'm sure other moves are gonna be up. I mean, you have to because this risk is huge because the haul that you could have gotten for Otani is going to be generational, would have been generational. So it's it's tough to pass up on that. I mean, unless they're feeling good about their chances of re-signing him, it's tough, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll see how this whole thing plays out, and I really hope we see him in the playoffs, but we'll see. We never know.
It's got to be one of two things. Either Shohei Otani hinted at, left the door open to possibly signing there again, and that's all they needed to say. Hey, well, we're not gonna just burn the bridge, so to say.
Yeah,
We're gonna keep this door open. We can maybe we can convince him with a nice playoff run to sign back here in LA. Or
yeah,
Artie Moreno's just that stubborn that Shohei could be
yeah,
like, no, I'm probably not signing here again. And Artie is just like, well, I don't want to be the guy to trade him. So I'm just gonna keep him and I guess we're gonna be buyers. So I don't know. Who knows what's happening there, but it was definitely a big bomb when it was dropped that he wasn't gonna get traded. So it's sort of sad because it would have been interesting to see if he would have joined up with the Orioles.
No, that wouldn't have been sad. No, that's all right. It's all good.
No, I think baseball would have enjoyed that. Just the whole AL East wouldn't have enjoyed that very much. But
No.
we're gonna move on then. Switching gears, jump into the NL Central. The Cubs could be in an interesting spot here. And I say that because they have some pieces that they could move at the trade deadline here. Cody Bellinger, obviously having a breakout season. Marcus Stroman, who they just signed to a short deal, obviously having a very great season. But currently, they find themselves. I was way wrong when I talked earlier. They're 4.5 games out of the NL wild card right now. Um, Currently sitting behind the two teams that are also out, the Diamondbacks and the Marlins. They're both half a game, and like I said, the Cubs are 4.5 games out. And you'd like to say the NL Central is a two-team race, but the Cubs are 6 games back. So if they can continue on this run they're on right now, do you think it would make sense to hold on to Bellinger and Stroman?
I wish I could say it would make sense for them to hold on to him, but to me, it just doesn't. I mean, Bellinger's on an expiring deal. I believe Stroman is as well. So
Yes.
the fact the fact that they're not there long term, it's gonna take money to extend them. And being where you're at in the weak NL Central, I think it's kind of tough. If they were like, I don't know, a game or two out of first place in the NL Central, I would say, maybe there's a case for it. But I think they signed, especially Bellinger, I think they signed him to kind of flip him, hoping and
Yeah.
praying that he would have the season that he is now so they can get back what they're going to get back. That's the way I look at it. So, I mean, uh, to me, it just doesn't make sense for them to hold on to him just because I feel like the front office already had their mind made up even before the season started, especially with this Bellinger move. I mean, it was written all over the wall that he was going to be dealt at the deadline.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll see if I can sway you a little bit here. I'm going to read off their opponents for the rest of the season.
Mm.
Cardinals, Reds, Braves, Mets, Blue Jays, White Sox, Royals, Tigers, Pirates. That's a nice little stretch there. White Sox, Royals, Tigers, Pirates. I mean, you gained some serious ground there. Then you got Brewers again, Reds again, Giants, D-backs, Rockies, D-backs, Pirates, then more with the Rockies, and then you end the season with 3 with the Braves and then 3 more with the Brewers. So I would say their schedule leans towards easier. Um, but I if I was the Cubs, I would have to be calling up the Yankees and saying, "Hey, what are you gonna give me for Belly?" Calling up my Phillies too. What would you give me for Bellinger? I mean, honestly, I think the Phillies would be a nice fit for him, but I think, like you said, it was set up to be a rental. It was the perfect setup for that. Sign him to a 1 year deal, hoping he can turn it around. And then with Stroman, he said that he wants to be a Cub, and you didn't sign him. You didn't give him an extension like halfway through the season when he was really doing good. You said no, we don't want to give him an extension, supposedly, or maybe your numbers weren't there. I don't know, but he seemed a little upset that you weren't giving him a contract, offering him a contract extension. So it sort of seems like they were planning to trade Marcus Stroman too at the time. The writing seems to be on the wall, and then they go on this little 5 game winning streak right here, trying, a last ditch hope to turn it around. But if I had to make a choice right now, I would say it's too late. You're gonna cut it off. Like you said, you got to capitalize on this great half of the season so far that Bellinger's had because he hasn't been like this in a
100%.
long time. So take advantage of it.
Exactly.
See what you can get.
Yeah. I mean, and it really sucks because the Cubs are a fun team. I mean, even if they were to go on a win streak here and do make a playoff berth in some sort of way, I don't see them getting far. And now I could be wrong. Look at the 2019 Nationals, last year's Phillies. Nobody expected them to be there, but I just don't think there's enough with this Cubs team yet. They're young, and I think they're on the right direction. I just think they need to capitalize to keep that young movement going because Bellinger, I mean, he's still young, but he's getting up there in age. You got Stroman as well. They're having phenomenal seasons. Get back what you should be getting back for these guys and just build around it. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, I agree. I think getting some young pitching back would be very nice for them because that's sort of they're not a great pitching team right now. I mean,
Yeah.
Marcus Stroman and Justin Steele, and Steele, I think he's gotten injured, but he hasn't been fantastic like he was to
Mhm.
start the season. Then you got like 45-year-old Kyle Hendricks in the rotation. And then I don't know if I could name you another guy in the Cubs rotation right now. So I think it'd
Jameson
be,
Taillon.
oh yeah,
That's
Tyone.
the only reason why.
I'll give you that. Yeah. Um, so I think it'd be nice to go out there, flip one of these two guys, both of these guys for some young prospects, like you said. But I'm not I think you got to have a higher asking price because you're on the fence about it. So, when you're fielding these offers, you can't be taking just anything here. I think this isn't an A's fire sale. This is hey, we got these really nice pieces, but we don't have to move them, but for the
Yeah.
right price, we'll consider it. So I think that's where the Cubs are at right now. I think it'd be interesting. We should put a story up on our poll or up. Geez. Wow, Matt. Put a poll up on our story and see what all of our followers think about it. Because I'm interested to see where they fall. Okay. The moment we've all been waiting for. Kyle, your guy is coming back. This toe injury, foot injury, whatever it even was, couldn't hold him down forever. Out of the blue, it was announced today or yesterday?
Yes. Yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday that Judge is going to be making his return this Friday. So today, if you're listening to this, probably, or tomorrow, whatever. What is this? I mean, obviously, he's the lifeblood of the Yankees offense and the team as a whole. Is it going to be enough to turn the Yankee season around and make a playoffs push?
No, it's not going to be enough. I don't. I mean, no, it's not. But it's going to be a move in the right direction. I'll tell you that. I mean, because this offense, I mean, it's literally one of the worst in baseball. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a pissed off Yankees fan. I'm saying it because statistically, the Yankees are one of the worst lineups in baseball without Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
So and like you said, he's the lifeline of this Yankees team. And it's not just the offense, it's the whole team as a whole. I mean, that's captain, whatever the hell you want to say about it. That's the reason why he is what he is. So slotting him back in this lineup is going to make a world of a difference. And I really hope it does with Rizzo and Stanton. And I hope these guys start taking off again. Volpe was doing very, very well when he had Judge mentoring him. I mean, just Judge he's more than just the ball player on this team. He's everything. Um, so like I said, it's going to be a huge boost to this lineup, especially, but it's not enough. Give me Cody Bellinger. I'm sorry, but give me Cody Bellinger. I'm full in on that. But no, I mean, Garrett Cole is doing his thing. Carlos Rodon is. I mean, he had a good start last night. Nestor's on his way back, but like I said, having Aaron Judge back in this locker room, it's a huge boost to this team, and I mean, we'll see where it goes, but I don't think it's enough for this squad to make a deep run at all. Because like I said before and I could go on a whole tangent about this. Everybody knows that, but this team was not addressed in the offseason. They have the same team that they did going into the season when Judge gets back tomorrow,
Yep.
or if whatever the hell it is. So it's not enough. It's not enough, and that's where I'm leaving it.
Okay. Obviously, a need for the Yankees would probably be an outfielder still, a left fielder, I believe. Is there one in
Yeah.
specific? I mean, Cody Bellinger, yes, I know that. But if
Mhm.
you can't get Belly, is there somebody else you're targeting?
Oh, 100% Dylan Carlson.
Okay.
100. I want if it wasn't for Bellinger being on the market, Dylan Carlson's been a guy that, I was hoping for the last couple of years. And honestly, that might be the way the Yankees go because the Cubs, as we talked about, they're going to have a high asking price on Bellinger. Dylan Carlson got some years left of team control. And a guy like him has Brian Cashman written all over it. And it's the same thing they did last year when they got Bader. I mean, it's a guy who had a year left of team control and is regarded as one of the best defensive center fielders in the game. Carlson is kind of the same way. So, I mean, like I said, it's got Brian Cashman written all over it. I want Belly. Will I be mad with Dylan Carlson? Absolutely not. I like him. I like what he has, and he would provide, I think, some kind of spark to this Yankees team.
Okay. I think that Belly obviously is the best option, but
Mm-hmm.
let me know if this interests you. Dylan Carlson career numbers here: 245 batting average, 325 on base percentage, a 399 putrid slugging. What is that? And then a 724 OPS. I mean, this guy is a defensive outfielder. Um,
Yeah,
that's not helping the Yankees' problems right now. They need offense.
I I totally understand that. I do, but as a Yankee fan that I watch every single game, we are having infielders playing the outfield right now.
That's fair.
It has gotten to the point where I am scared when a fly ball is going out to left field and Isaiah Kiner Falefa is on the verge of crashing into Harrison Bader in center field and that damn ball is dropping. It has gotten to that point where I want as much defense as I can get in the outfield. And look, I totally understand the numbers on offense. I do. But I mean, what really interests me is Carlson's defense and having some sort of spark, I mean, he's still young. I think he's got some time to come around, so we'll see. But like I said, Bellinger's my pick. That's who I really want. But I won't be mad with Carlson. I really won't.
Okay. I'm just going to take the time quick, throw out a couple more names, maybe for the outfield.
Hmm.
Tommy Pham, bring him over from the other side of New York. It's possible. Phillies are
Yeah.
really linked to him. I'm not sure I love that for the Phillies, but that's besides the point. Um, Tyler O'Neill, I don't think the Cardinals are dealing him, which
I
is
don't think
kind
so
of
either.
strange compared, like when you think about their relationship they had earlier in the season. But I don't know. Mark Canha coming over from the Mets too. Man, Kyle doesn't like that one.
No.
Um, Lane Thomas coming up from Washington. I think he
So
provides a bit of a better bat there.
yeah. So no, this one interests me because you got Candelaria there as well. And look, I understand we talked about Candelaria earlier, but you got to remember who we're putting at third base every day.
Well, not
So for me,
anymore, and not Josh Donaldson
correct,
anymore.
correct. But DJ LeMahieu's bat has not been much better by any
Fair.
means. I will say he has 5 walks in the last 2 days, 2 or 3 days, so that's nice. But our offensive production from third base is putrid. It has been terrible all season long. So having maybe a package, Lane Thomas and Jamer Candelario coming over from Washington, that would interest me.
I
I,
like
I
that.
would be opposed to that.
Yeah, I like that. I'll say one more guy, and then we're gonna uh, talk about starting pitching maybe a little bit for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Teoscar Hernandez. It's not necessarily guaranteed that the Mariners move him because they're in a bit more of a positive spot than the Cubs, but they're at the
Yeah.
same sort of area.
No,
AL
this
East
one,
reunion.
yeah. So this one would interest me. Teoscar Hernandez is known as a Yankee killer. Every time they play the Yankees, he has a monster game. Um, but this one would interest me. His numbers are not very good this year. I personally thought he was going to go over to Seattle and take off. I thought this was going to be like a FU to the Blue Jays kind of thing, and it just hasn't been the case. Um, but like I said, we can make the same case for Dylan Carlson because his offensive numbers have not been that great either. So, I mean,
Fair.
it would interest me. Honestly, anything at this point, just get me a real outfielder. That's what I want. I don't want any more infielders playing out of position when you're trying out a bunch of different things. I mean, we're relying on Jake Bowers and Billy McKinney right now to be the life of the offense. Can it get much worse? That's the point where I'm at. Bring something in where you're playing guys at their true position and trying, like, show us you're trying. I want my front office to show me that you're putting a product on the field that you're trying to win with, because what they got now just is not the case whatsoever.
Yeah, you couldn't have said anything better. And we're gonna take another minute to talk about the Yankees too, because I'm curious about the pitching situation. Is there any pitchers that you're targeting?
Oh man. This one hurts a lot. Because at the beginning of the season, this rotation was looking like it was going to be easily top five in baseball, arguably the best. I mean, it hurts from where we came from, right? So Garrett Cole's having a monster year. Rodon just I don't know. After I'm not getting into that, but Rodon had a good start yesterday. Cortez is on his way back. Um, Herman has been touch and go. I mean, yeah, he threw a perfect game, whatever. But Clark Schmidt's been up on the rise again. But like, I don't know. I feel like they could use an addition with the pitching staff. Um, but I mean, even when he's been on the field, Nestor Cortez has not been that great this season. I don't even. I totally forgot about Frankie Montas. I forgot he was on this team. Um, you know, like I said, I don't have my eyes on anybody. Just because I know the Yankees are probably just gonna get, you know, so whatever it is, they're gonna shop in the bargain bin. That's kind of what they do. This day and age. But yeah, I don't know. It's so tough to say. But yeah, I mean, we could use pitching as well.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there's anybody in specific that was linked to the Yankees, but okay, fair
No.
enough. Um, all right, we're gonna move on now. Talk a little Dodgers, and we're gonna bring in Melo for this. All right, now of course we got to be joined by Melo to talk a little Dodgers because me and Kyle just totally out of the loop with what's going on with the Dodgers. No, I'm just kidding. We know what's going on a little bit, and we weren't planning to talk about this before we set up, our little topics, but Nolan Arenado rumors are circling right now. Mello, obviously you're all in on that, but what are you feeling right now?
Right before we came on and press recorded, I just finished telling you guys that there's one of these players every year that gets linked to my team that I really want, and I'm sucked in. This is 2023. Nolan Arenado, you are the recipient of the Melo Gets Sucked In to the Trade Deadline Rumors Award. Um, I want it and I need it. Now, I did read the article, and I'm not willing to give up Bobby Miller because they do want one of those big prospects, pitching prospects. I am not willing to give up Bobby Miller, but any other of the top prospects, I will drive them to LAX myself. Um, um, Max Muncy, I love the dude. Again, I'll ship him off for Arenado. I
Wow.
really will. I will. Listen, these are my guys, but it's Nolan Arenado, Platinum Glove winner. He's already under contract, so this is like a multi-year investment. I didn't think he was going to be available at the start of this season. Go get him, and if they're willing to give us Jordan Montgomery too, that's an A plus. This is a Scherzer, Trey Turner type move to me.
Wow. So you're willing to just dump anybody for pretty much
Okay,
anybody.
well, let's not go crazy. Um,
Vargas, Miguel Vargas.
oh, he can go.
Okay, so
There's a
I
reason
I
why he's in AAA right now. There's a reason. There's
I
a
kind of
reason why they traded for Ahmed Rosario yesterday.
we'll get to that in a little bit, but it sort of felt like the Dodgers were at least Dodgers fans were a little fed up with Vargas. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just he just hasn't performed too well. He hasn't performed like we thought he would coming into the season. And Dodger fans were even getting on James Outman a little bit after he had a great first month of the season and then he kind of hit a wall, which is normal. It's gonna happen to the rookies, but Vargas is different. It's just He was on this big league roster last year. He saw how it works. He saw how everything is supposed to be done, and just so far hasn't lived up to it. And he did get hurt in the spring training, I may add. I think he took a foul ball off. I mean, I think he took a ball off the hand or something. So maybe that's something he's been dealing with this whole season, but it just hasn't panned out so far for Miguel Vargas.
Yeah. Kyle, what do you think about possibilities of Arenado to the Dodgers?
You can be honest.
Sure. Sure. I mean, for me, it has no effect on me just because the only time the Yankees are going to see the Dodgers in meaningful games is the World Series. So the only time I'm going to have to worry about him or Ohtani is in the World Series. You're welcome, Melo, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just got to wait a couple extra months for Ohtani.
Yeah.
He'll be
Oh
heading
well.
down. He'll be there soon. Just got to wait a little longer. Now, the Angels did come in, swoop in, and stole Lucas Giolito from you guys, though.
This is a thing you don't want to do. You don't want to piss Andrew Friedman. You don't want to piss the Dodgers front office off because Lucas Giolito and the Dodgers was like a match made in heaven. He's a SoCal guy. He's from here. And then the Angels out of nowhere, the one time they caught Andrew Friedman sleeping last night. I don't know. I guess we were all sleeping. Comes in, Perry Manassian's like, you know what? I want Lucas Giolito. Here's our two of our top 3 prospects in our farm system. Give us Lucas Giolito and I'm forgetting the other guy. My apologies.
Reynaldo Lopez.
There you go. Thank you. So that's the thing you don't want to do. You don't want to piss us off. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna put the hammer down and we're gonna go get Nolan Arenado and Jordan Montgomery.
Okay. So you would
Anything you do, I can do better.
yeah, there you go. I mean, yeah, it's kind of interesting because Arenado wasn't rumored to be going until just literally like half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, when the news broke that apparently the Cardinals are in talks, and it kind of seems like Dodgers are nobody from the feel of it. Like he said, he'd be willing to waive for the Dodgers, but nobody else. His no trade clause, that is. That's good leverage for the Dodgers.
He is, and he's another local guy. He's from Newport Beach, California. Come on home. Come on, like I said, that California air will solve everything.
Okay, who else is on the Dodgers wish list though?
I don't know, and I would hope this is a top priority for them. Getting a damn closer. I don't think they're gonna do it. Yeah, I put that in our predictions. I said David Bednar, but it's not the end of the world if they don't get a closer because Evan Phillips has kind of been the official, unofficial closer for this team this year. I like the fact that Dave Roberts is kind of going away from that closer by committee crap that he was doing some parts of last year and even this year. It just doesn't work. I'm not in favor of it, but need a closer. And if they don't get it, I'm completely fine with Evan Phillips and maybe another starting pitcher to a lesser degree. I've heard Lance Lynn. Maybe somebody else, maybe. He's like the 4th option, but get another starting pitcher and maybe a closer.
It's now we got to address the moves that Dodgers have already made. Because believe it or not, just from hearing Melo talk, Nolan Arenado to the Dodgers isn't a done deal. You may think so just from hearing Melo gush over him for the last 5 minutes. But
you see the little twinkle in my eye?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, find you someone the way Melo looks at Nolan Arenado. Yeah, exactly. But the Dodgers did reunite Kike Hernandez, brought him back to the team, and then also went out and flipped Noah Syndergaard for Ahmed Rosario. How are we feeling about both those moves?
Listen, Andrew Friedman does it again. He never fails. He always is on top of this when it comes to trades or signings. Listen, everybody was so upset at Noah Syndergaard And that particular, I mean, listen, I thought that they were going to fix him. I thought he was going to be pumping 97, 98 again coming into this season because that's the Dodger way. They've turned a lot of pitchers into great pitchers again, and then they go to another team and completely forget how to pitch. Tyler
Tyler
Anderson of
Anderson.
the Angels is the perfect example. Yes, I'm glad we're on the same page with this. Um, I thought we were going to fix him. Didn't work out. I'm sorry it did, but I'm sorry, Guardians, but you got fleeced. Sorry, you just did.
They sort of did. I mean, Guardians do have a good history of pitching in their city. They have been able. Now that was more like bringing pitching up through the ranks and scouting it out, but they've been good with pitchers, so maybe they can. Maybe they see what's wrong with Syndergaard and they think they can turn it around. I don't know. Now the Kike move, I think, is a little more interesting. It's almost a little more head scratching. I think there were some people who didn't like the move for the Dodgers. How did you feel about it?
So like I said, I put this on my story a couple days ago. It wasn't James Outman because, of course, the day I say he's been struggling, he goes 3 for 3 and has a walk-off double. Of course, the day I say that. But again, it was because of Miguel Vargas. He was supposed to be the starting second baseman for this team. And very quickly we learned it's not working out. So he's in AAA right now. Maybe at the end of maybe next year again, we can try it again. But you needed a solid second baseman. And that's what I think Kike is going to do. And you also, and remember, Kike is a platoon guy. He can play anywhere in the infield and the outfield. So if you go look at the outfield, we got like three lefties. We got James Outman, we got Jason Hayward, and we got David Peralta. So we kind of needed to balance it out with the right-handed bat. And that's exactly what Kike is going to do. And I think now it moves Mookie Betts back to right field. I don't know. I think he'll still play the infield, but we needed another right-handed bat, and I think that's what the Kike move was all about.
Kyle, your perspective as another AL East guy, getting dealt from the AL East.
Yeah,
This guy out of my division.
that's pretty much all I'm gonna say because Kike Hernandez liked to beat up on the Yankees. I mean, that's how it was. There's these guys that we call Yankee killers up here on the East Coast. So it's just I'm glad he's gone. I think the reunion is kind of cool, but
You think it's a good fit for the Dodgers?
sure. No, it I do like how it balances the lineup a little bit. You got those lefty outfielders, plus you got Freeman in there, blah blah blah. So having another righty in there, I think it just balances out the lineup, and the bench. And I really really like how Kike can play. He's a super utility guy. He can play everywhere. So having that kind of flexibility will help. It's only going to help the Dodgers.
Yeah. So Melo, what's the starting? What's the field look like right now for the Dodgers?
First base, Freddie Freeman. Second base, you want to do Kike Hernandez, Mookie Betts, you can do that. Shortstop is Ahmed Rosario. I mean, Rojas hasn't been great this year. I think he's somewhere around 220. It just hasn't been good. So maybe he gets moved to the bench, or maybe he gets moved to second base too. Third base, ask me that a question again in a couple days. But as of right now, at the very moment, it could be Kike Hernandez, it could be Mookie Betts. I mean Mookie Betts. It could be Max Muncy, it could be Chris Taylor. Outfield gets a little crowded. I think James Outman's your everyday center fielder. David Peralta is your left fielder. And the guy that nobody wanted in the offseason, Jason Hayward, has been probably our second best signing of the season. Nobody wanted him. And then Freddie Freeman told the Dodgers, let's give him a chance. And he's performed very well. And then catcher, of course, Will Smith. And then DH is JD Martinez, which was our best signing of the offseason. So I like the moves that have been made so far, but let's just see what happens with Arenado.
I think Arenado would definitely put them over the top. Even maybe dare I say make them possible contenders with the Braves for best team in the NL. I mean, the Braves are rolling right now, but an Arenado upgrade, Arenado's really turned it on here in the last couple of weeks. So I don't know. I mean, not that I love it as a Phillies fan. I mean, sure, we're not in the Dodgers division, but at the end of the day, I don't necessarily want Arenado joining the Dodgers. But it'd be fun to see for sure. So I think you got anything else you want to add on the Dodgers, Melo?
You get a pass for losing 2 out of 3 to Toronto. I can live with it. You played more than a week and a half on the East Coast, and you didn't get a day off from that Sunday to Monday. Kind of like me. I didn't get a day off either. But I can live with it, but you got to play better against the Reds starting this weekend. Ellie De La Cruz is coming to town, and I am so excited to see that.
Yeah, lucky you. You get to watch him 3 days, 4 days. How long is the series?
3.
Okay. There you go. You get to watch him 3 games. That should be exciting. 2, I guess, is James Outman in the contention for NL Rookie of the Year still or not really?
I don't think he is anymore.
Yeah.
Unless he completely has the next month and a half of the ages. I think it's gonna be between De La Cruz and Carroll of
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's interesting because like the first month and a half, he was kind of a lock. I mean, Carroll was definitely up there too, but Altman was insane. So, okay. I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see what the Dodgers do. I am sure they're gonna make at least another move or two, whether it's Arenado or not, but we'll see. I'd love for my Phillies to go out there and get a bat. You guys both have your players you want to go for. For me, it's kind of
CJ
two
Cron.
guys. CJ Crone is one of them.
Santana's off
Hitter's
the board.
ballpark. Yeah, Santana's off the board. I was leaning Crone over Santana personally. Listen, Hitter's ballpark. It's not quite Colorado, but it might be second, third, fourth best, option there. And then another guy, if he gets traded, Teoscar Hernandez. Come on over. Come on over. You can lock down one of the corner outfield spots, I think, and shore up that defense. Props to Bryce Harper for being able to move to first base. Love that for us. It frees the DH spot up, and then
What a team player.
give Schwarber. I know, really should be MVP this season again. He should have been an all-star even over JD Martinez probably. Just for being such a good teammate. I'm getting a terrible look for Melo right now for people on the podcast only. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for episode 26. Hopefully by the next time we talk on Monday, there's gonna be a lot of moves made. But for right now, we covered what's happened, and we will see you later.
Adios.
Later.